Hello, hello. Welcome,
Ah,
welcome.
thank you.
All right, so glad you could join us for our big uh, book launch marathon. We are just so you know, Sharon. Oh, I should announce this is Sharon LaPointe. Sharon LaPointe is a I'm gonna uh we've actually done some co-authoring in the past in creating courses and so forth. So, and we've also written in another collaborative book series. But I want to share um, the spotlight. So here we go. Sharon, your chapter is called Rewriting the Rules, a Practical Path Through Divorce for the Self-Represented. Um, One of the things that we've co-authored together is a course for the do-it-yourself divorce process, and it was an amazing journey because I want you to share a little bit of your background of what gives you the expertise to help that pro se litigant to go through the divorce process with from a self-generating context.
Wonderful. Hi, everybody. I'm driving, so forgive me. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree in legal studies back in the 90s and became a paralegal. And I was a paralegal for 14 years. And I worked with attorneys when I first started, and they weren't very nice. uh, Talk about being criticized for every little thing you do. Um, so I broke out on my own and just started helping people that wanted to represent themselves because they really couldn't afford the attorneys. And not that I'm against attorneys or anything like that. It's just that a lot of people don't realize that they could do this on their own and not have to pay the exorbitant cost of an attorney. And really all they really wanted was just someone to listen to them and guide them, and that's what I considered myself to be. And through when I opened up my own paralegal business, I also became a volunteer certified Supreme Court mediator, and I did that for about a year. I owned my own paralegal business, and I helped hundreds of people file for a pro se divorce on their own, um, which was which was extraordinary to see that to see people. There was so much gratitude in that. You know, just doing simple motions. I mean, I did not just divorces. I did so many other things, modifications, child support, um, paternity, you name it. I pretty much did it. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that's about it, Danica. I mean, 14 years, and it was probably one of the most gratifying roles that I ever actually did, because I'm a professional realtor and broker, and I got more gratitude helping people guide them through the divorce process than I do selling a house.
You kind of act sort of as a therapist.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's been a lot of a great journey. A great service because there's not that many there are programs out there that are do-it-yourself divorce and stuff like that, but it's been my experience that first of all, if you go through the courts, they're do-it-yourself. It's a nightmare. What are some of the things that people ran into that try to do it themselves and they go in the courthouse and they walk away with a 2-inch binder of documents? What's that experience?
Well, overwhelmed, not knowing what paperwork they actually needed, because how frustrating it is to complete the forms and then go back and be told, well, you're forgetting this, you're forgetting that, you didn't include this, you didn't fill out your paperwork correctly. So I really think it's a deterrent to have that big thick packet for people, because they don't, attorneys and judges feel that individuals like us that are not licensed are more of a harm to the community than a help, which really is the other way around. Because we, well, as a paralegal, I think I got paid $300 to do a divorce packet. Whereas some people experienced $100,000 bill, or even $20,000 to do a divorce. So all they really wanted was guidance and someone to listen to them, without judgment and really without the drama and the chaos that goes with having an attorney, because attorneys work off of conflict. They make more money off of conflict. And, even if you say that it's a uncontested and both parties are going to sign, you still are looking at around $5,000. And for some people, that's a big chunk of change.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that, there's not too many people when you find yourself in the courthouse trying to work things out. I mean, people don't go to school for it unless they become a lawyer. They don't know where even to start. And
Yeah.
that fear, it becomes fear-based. Everything is, and then of course, when you're dealing with the loves of your lives, your children, the thought of losing them, again, more fear comes in, that that adds to the potential explosion of I love that you do these courses that help educate people, empower people and you simplify the process and say let's break it down. It's not that difficult.
That's true. And that's a key right there. I found that these individuals, because of the overwhelm that was settling in, all it would have taken them is just read the paperwork, and and they didn't want to read it, right? Because of that overwhelm, they couldn't follow along. And I know I've been there too. There's some things that I just hear, do it for me. I'm willing to pay you to do it because I just can't process this right now with the grief that I'm experiencing and the upset I'm experiencing. I don't have time, right? That was another thing. I just don't have the time, and I work full time, and I can't do this on my own, right? So it's really like holding hands and just guiding them. I was a hub. I considered myself a hub where people would flow in and flow out, and I was so surprised because after their hearing, everything went smoothly. They did exactly as I shared with them to do, and they had no issues, because they don't realize that when they get in front of a judge, if the judge feels that they don't know what they're doing, the judge can stop it right then and there and say, go hire an attorney. And then they lose their filing fee. They lose all the time that they put into it. And now that things are online and they can upload their documents through the e-portal system, it's even more easier for them to do.
Mhm. I had so what's one message you hope our readers will take from reading the book and your chapter around self-empowerment? Taking your fate into your own hands. What do you want them to take away from that?
Anything is possible.
Mhm. That
Anything is possible.
I think that sometimes some people are afraid. They're afraid of going, well, there's a couple things. It's the ignorance that brings the fear. It's the ignorance that I don't know what I'm doing. So now I'm afraid that I'm going to do the wrong thing. A lot of people don't realize that lawyers can offer limited scope legal services, to consider that the value of a lawyer is their arguments in the courtroom, not the paperwork that they generate.
Correct.
And people don't know that. They're like, well, it's a package price of 10 grand to get a divorce. I'm like, wait a minute. A lot of it is knowing the questions to ask. And
And it's workability too, Danica. It's all about communication with your partner. Okay, so we can't make it work anymore, or we don't want to make it work anymore. So if we're gonna end this, let's do this together. let this be the one thing that we can do together and end it peacefully without it costing us, everything that we've built by giving it to the attorneys. Um, you have to have workability. That's why when you represent pro se litigants, I mean, that's the one thing. They don't have to have an attorney if they can come together. They might not have been able to come together in their marriage, but maybe they can come together in their divorce.
Have you had clients where you've seen that because they chose this route instead of that it could have gone completely off the rails? Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I found that the person that I was doing the paperwork for, um, I took on being their committed listener. And
Mhm.
by doing that, they were more open to the communication. And but they got to see like what the alternative was going to be. And so they were committed to having it work out without it getting ugly. And so whatever they might have been resisting, in the beginning, they were able to let that go. So I think a lot of the times with the pro se litigants, um, they really want it to work and to be amicable. Uh, and there's some people that it's just not going to happen that way. But um, I think having a coach is the biggest thing right there.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with that. Did So what gives you hope for families who are struggling today?
What gives hope for families who are
What
struggling
gives,
today?
yeah, what gives you hope for the families who are struggling today? Is there hope?
Absolutely. Although, on an ontological level, I don't consider hope as I don't want. How do I say this? Hope is a beggar to me, right? What I look at is that you're creating a possibility for your life and for your future self.
Mhm.
And if you really want something, it's going to take you to be in action. Hope isn't going to, you can't sit back and just hope that it happens. You got to do it, and you got to be willing. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. Hope is not an action.
correct, correct.
So, hope is a feeling, but it has to, in order for it to be powerful, it has to have action and intention, like creating possibilities for what's possible.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get that people inside of that the feeling, like you said, hope is a feeling that it is possible. So
Yes, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us while you're on the road.
I mean, did I make sense? I mean, did that land for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, good. And yeah, and it's something that I had not really been putting into my other interviews, is asking people a little bit of their background, because that's the whole context for why, we're develop, we're creating these chapters and sharing our wisdoms, is, our background, our professional background. So,
Danica, would you agree that everything is a mindset?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Got to have that. Um, so, all right. Well, thank you so much. Be
Thank
safe
you.
on the roads.
Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I don't stop.